Hello and welcome to topic number 4, which is the basic in social media. This uh, topic is a part of a mini course online in nonprofit marketing, which is also a part of an Erasmus Plus project, nonprofit all-inclusive, and is co-funded by European Union. My name is Irina, and I'm one of the project managers for the project. And I'm also a founder of Association Nonprofit Marketing in Sweden, or Ideell Marknadsföring i Sverige in Swedish. And I am responsible for the marketing part of this project and the content of this course. So let's begin. Before we go, this lesson is going to be a bit more practical than the previous ones. And I'm going to show you how to set up accounts in some social media and also how to make a publication, a post, via some tools which are handy for organizations or movements. But before we proceed, let's start with some theory. First of all, when you publish as an organization or a movement, you need to communicate with consistency when it comes to the look of your organization account or movement account, which is graphic profile, various elements like colors, logos, and so on, the core values, so that it is seen that all the publications that follow those values and are aligned with them, but also the tonality, which means that you should agree what type of language, is it formal or informal, that you should use in publications. And especially if you are several people who take care of the account, then you need to maybe prepare some kind of policy or otherwise decide strategically so that irregardless of who of you is working on publications, the account looks similar. It can be also a situation where you want to emphasize that it's a particular person, for example, a creator that is right now behind the scenes and working and doing publications. But still it should be visible that it is a part of your organization or movement. Then I would like also to remind about something that we talked on the previous lesson, and is that communication is meaning creation, meaning making. So you, as an organization or a movement, when you communicate through social media channels, remember that it's not only media channels, they are also social, which means that interaction is the key there. And you need to try and aim to create a dialogue via your audiences and your target groups through those social media channels. Keep in mind that everything that you publish is going to be interpreted very individually based on the languages that people speak, the background, opinions, values, interpretations, which can be different depending on when at the daytime and with which mood the person woke up today, and so on, and even the organizational culture where the person is working or volunteering. So when you do publications or when you engage with your audience through social media channels, try to create the mutual reality, so to say, an understanding, so that you as an organization have more or less similar image of who you are and what your values are, as your target group has about you. In order to do this, it doesn't mean that you can have an opinion, okay, this is how we should be perceived, and we want to force this on our target group, but instead you should create it together with the target audience. You should listen, adjust, publish, listen, make them interact, engage, and adjust all the time. So social media is about interaction. And when it comes to which types of social media channels exist, I can say that there are a lot of different channels, and they also change. The different channels, new channels gaining popularity, and so on. The most important thing is that you should be present where your target audience is. It means that this particular target audience or the segment of it is present on those channels, you should be there too. Irregardless if you yourself maybe do not like Facebook, say, or Instagram, but if your audience is there, you should be present there, and you should know also how those social media work. So there are 4 types of social media channels. That can be all social media channels can be divided into them. This is social community, which means the places where focus is on people interacting and the community building, such as Facebook groups, Discord, Twitch, and so on. Then there is also social publishing. Social aspect is present in all the channels, but they can be focused on different aspects of besides it. For example, Instagram or YouTube or X or Twitter formerly, even if you engage in interactions, but still the content, everything is about constant content production, such as pictures and videos for Instagram, text for X or Twitter, YouTube, which is videos. Then there are also social entertainment channels, for example, Roblox or YouTube or even TikTok, where there is a lot of entertaining content. And the entertainment is in focus. And there are social commerce. Some platforms combine those different aspects. So say Facebook has Facebook Group and Facebook Marketplace, where Facebook Marketplace is a social commerce part of Facebook. And there is also social commerce means that you can use, interact, communicate on those channels, but also buy. Say on Instagram, if there is some person who has something to offer for sale, then you can not only see the pictures or videos of it, but also purchase. What you need to keep in mind when building publications in social media is a good tool to use is Message Map that I mentioned again in the previous lesson. And again, not all social media channels will have enough space for it, but you still should follow the core principle, which is that you start with some core message which is short, concise, and clear, and is grabbing attention, which is interesting to grab the attention of the audience. And then you support it with some key points, and then support with some more supporting points, facts, examples, recommendations for those who need them. So from very short message, very interesting, to giving more and more and more information for those who need it. And remember also to use hashtags, which are popular for some social media channels. When it comes to hashtags, usually they are placed at the bottom of the publication, but sometimes organically as part of publication. There are 2 ways to approach hashtags. One is that you can use hashtags as keywords and try to use the popular ones for those aspects or areas that you work with, or the questions that your movement is about, so that it will be easier for people to find you using the hashtags maybe connected to other publications. Say that you are a part of a larger movement about some question. But then you can also create unique hashtags where for a particular movement or a question and promote them as a part, as a connection of this movement. They can be connected to your organization or to a question itself, like Me Too, for example. And then the hashtags can become worldwide popular, and which creates on its own boost to your visibility if you were the ones who started using it. When making publications in social media, it's important to keep in mind even following. As I said, different channels fit to different audiences, different target groups and segments. Also, remember that social media is not only about publication, but also about interaction. So even if you are professional accounts of an organizational movement, remember to not only answer to what the followers comment, tell, or like, but also follow your audience. Go to visit their accounts, see what they're interested in, and if it is relevant and actual, if you also like it as an organization, do it, react and interact with your audience. Be followers of your audience too, and allocate a time for it. Sometimes it's if you are run solely by volunteers, it's totally worth to have several volunteers doing this task only, following your followers. And also, if you need to answer to comments, try still to be personal. And even if there can be like questions that are similar and you would like to automatize, still try to show that you are a human being behind this social media account. And if people need more information, or if you cannot answer the question, show where people can contact, or whom they can contact, or where they can reach to find more. And another thing, so as I said, it is good to keep similar tonality and style and everything, consistency when it comes to your different social media looks. It's also good to actually connect social media channels to each other. And what do I mean by that? Means to tell in one of the channels that you have different ones. Say if you have LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram, tell in your LinkedIn that you also have Facebook and Instagram. Here they are, the links. And vice versa. Tell on your Instagram that you have LinkedIn and Facebook. And show all of the addresses on your webpage. So let's do something more practical finally. And set up a Meta account. What is Meta? Meta is a company that owns Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp currently. It can change because if some of you remember, Meta acquired those social media channels relatively recently. So it is what's actual in November 2024. Again, there is one thing that is relevant for social media channels. One is that they can have very different looks and very different ways to handle them. Another thing, which can be irritating, but unfortunately it's true, they can change their user interface pretty much very often. So everything I show you might change in half a year and look completely different. However, the logic behind this should be the same. If you do not have already an account for your organization and or a movement, you can create it in different ways. One of them is to do it from your personal account. I'm gonna show Facebook as an example and a little bit of Instagram. Keep in mind that it might be slightly different in different channels. So in Facebook, underneath your profile, your profile icon, you can see all profiles. Maybe you already have some pages. Here you have a menu where you can create a new page. I'm not gonna finish it because then if I put some random name, it might occasionally, like test one for example, it might occasionally be against some of the meta policies, and I might get it removed because maybe there are several thousand pages called test one, and maybe some of them are even trademarks. But anyways, you start with putting a name for your page, for your movement for example, and category. There is a category non-profit organization. You can say, you can pick also several, for example, non-governmental organization. And you can create a description. After you have done this, the description you can add afterwards. Then you click create a page. After this, you will have several steps, at least this is what is currently, several steps where you can provide contact information about your organization, like address, phone number, description of opening hours, the profile picture, which is in the middle, and even cover picture, which is the large one. Also check that you can see even from the beginning how your page is gonna look on desktop and also on a mobile phone, so you can test different views. Remember that more than a half of users are actually accessing your different accounts from mobile, and the number is growing. When it comes to Instagram, you need to start by creating an individual profile. I'm not gonna do this right now, but I can just say that when you have a personal profile, so you then can switch it to professional. And when you have a professional account, you can also change the category. You can pick a non-profit organization, but also you can provide additional information. You can have a website, you can have description, and so you can also choose the logo and everything. But the most useful part when it comes particularly to Instagram and Facebook is actually to use Meta Business Suite to make publications. If you do not have any professional, any web page, any Facebook page or Instagram page yet, you might need to take some additional steps to create. And if you do not have any company portfolio for Meta Business Suite, then you probably will need to create. So as you see, we already have business portfolio for nonprofit marketing, which has Instagram and Facebook page. If you do not have it, you can start by creating a business portfolio, giving it name and providing contact details and email. Everything, even if it is connected often to personal Facebook and Instagram accounts, you still need to provide mail addresses that are connected to those accounts sometimes, or organizational accounts to navigate and administer. And if you are several who are working with the same account, you can add those people later. So you can start by typing a name, providing the portfolio name, and providing the contact information about the person who is going to be main administrator for the account. After you have created it, you can add different Facebook pages and Instagram pages and even WhatsApp if you have already. I will show you, for example, if you already have business portfolio, then you can click on settings, and there you can edit who has access to your account, professional business account, and you can even invite people. You need email addresses for that. And also you can connect different pages. When it comes to Facebook, you can even create a new Facebook page from here. Otherwise, add existing Facebook page. You need to have access to Facebook page, be able to log into it and add it in order to connect it to this business portfolio. So when you have added, you can also assign people to work with it, or you can use it, pick users from the people, and like you can go both ways. So you can add pages, you can add Instagram accounts, WhatsApp accounts, and so on. So you connect everything, several accounts, into one profile. And why is that useful? Then you can do posts and publications through Meta Business Suite in several of your social media channels, sometimes at once. So next step, let's show you how to make a publication there. And let's do, I'm not gonna actually submit the publication, but I will show you some steps. So when you have this primary menu, when you have created your business portfolio, you can, in your home, you can click on Create Post. You can even create a story and reel from here, using actually your computer instead of mobile phone. And you can also use mobile phone applications and do it separately from a mobile phone, but not from Instagram, but from Meta Business Suite instead. So in general, I would say it's not actually recommended to use same publications and same picture formats, for example, for Instagram and Facebook, because they have different formats. Facebook, for example, for desktop is more horizontal pictures. Instagram has this square picture or vertical. Again, this is changing when more and more people are using social media via their mobile phones. But if you are one person or few people in your organization, a movement who are dealing with accounts, sometimes it helps to save the time. So if you want to make a publication in several channels, first you need to connect them in business portfolio, and then when you create a post, you can pick all the channels where you publish. Then you need to add, you can add photo, write a text for it, and proceed. Let's show, for example, you can add one photo or video, or you can add several. Let's use the pictures that we actually published when we informed about this course. You can see also that pictures are shown as squares of similar size for Facebook, but for Instagram it's gonna be so-called carousel. And so you can swap between them. When you have added pictures, it's also good to add, especially for the first one, it's good to add alternative text. It is important for those who switched off showing pictures in their desktops or mobile phones, but also for those who have some kind of disability and they cannot see the images, they need to hear them, so they are read aloud by different processors. And alternative text is basically a description, textual description of what is on the picture, which colors, which shapes, what text is written. It's very good and handy to use AI to generate this kind of text. We do this constantly. Again, so you add pictures, you added some text. You can have collaborators. For example, if we want to publish together with Miromida, which is a part of this project, we pick collaborator Miromida here. It is not possible currently at this moment to have collaborators for Instagram, only for Facebook. Maybe this changes in the future. Another thing, when you have collaborators, you are not able to schedule. You can only publish at once. So I'm gonna take collaborator away. Also, if when you publish, the collaborator organization will get a notification and they need to confirm, and then the publication will appear as part of both your channel and their channel too. So if you do not want publish everything or a post at once, you can schedule it and set a date and time. Depending on how many followers you have and also how long you have had accounts, both Instagram and Facebook can, so here you can put add date and time, but you also can get suggestions about best times to publish, both for Facebook and Instagram. This is depending on, this is particularly your current audience's active times, when most of your current followers are online and browsing in these social media channels. It's really good to use those recommendations, so keep in mind that. So then, which means basically that, say you want to make 8 publications per month, it doesn't mean that you actually need to sit down and do publications all those days. You can do all of them if you have material just during the course of one day and schedule them. And if you would like to see where the schedule is, I'm not gonna finish this publication because we already did it. But in the menu, you can access planner and the content. Let's see. So in a planner, you can see in a calendar view, you can pick weekly or monthly, which publications have already finished, including boosted publications, and which are scheduled to later. For example, here. And then you can even create, you can even plan from here. And you can even create new publications from here. So in this way, you can work with your social media in an organized and structured way. Again, this is only basics in social media. And in the next lesson, I'm gonna talk about paid advertising, which is slightly different tool. And again, I'm gonna use Meta as an example. Thank you for watching, and I hope that I see you, you will see me in the next lesson. Bye.